All right.
Okay.
All right. Now that we have enough people, we're gonna get this bad boy started. Gonna basically just we're gonna go in hot because we are having a late start and some people have to head out a little early. So let's just go at 0 wind up time. Just get this bad boy rolling. All right. All right. All right. Who'd like to do a recap as I finalize a couple things here?
Well, as I remember it, we were able to catch up to the guy and get all of our weapons back. And he was so sorry about his bad acting that, he or his, bad actorship, right? He was such a bad guy that he also gave us all of his money and gems and sent us along our way to the mole people. That was that. And then and then we all rolled nat 20s for inspiration and happened upon a meadow of kittens and unicorns, and it was fantastic. Really, couldn't recommend it more. That was that. Did I miss anything, guys?
And then you woke up.
All right. So as we uh, slowly semi-failed our way through the skill challenge, we we ended up losing track of the guy that had stolen our stuff, who masterfully led us into a trap of, shall we say, Jurassic proportions. And as we chase him into this forest, somebody had seen some. Oh, it was Kaido had yeeted Price up directly up into the air to give him a little bit more like viewable height, and he saw some giant lizards running around or like standing around in the forest ahead of us. So we thought, okay, that can't be that bad. Like I'm thinking like chompers, right? Like okay, big, but no big deal. Yeah, no, those were some ginormous Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaurs in the forest. And as we're fighting them, Gnome valiantly was stabby away and then got chomped up, ended up basically like slicing his way out of said dinosaur, like a complete badass, while the rest of us were wailing at everybody. You guys got to see Altani break out her wings for the first time in the group, and as she flew up and was shooting soul blades at them. So yeah, it was kind of an epic battle all around. And after the fight, we took a bit of a breather, and I think we were going to decide what to do from there. I feel like I'm missing the very last thing that we were doing, though, right before the end. What was that?
Everybody has forgotten.
Yeah, I don't recall.
I was traumatized. I was inside something and I had to eat my way out. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Like we saw the guy, like a hint of the guy or something further out when we were going to go after him, maybe, and then it ended. The session ended.
Also, one of you, feel free to roll me a d20, please. Just one.
You wanted just a
Oh.
one?
Just the one. There it is.
Oh no.
All right. Whatever that means will probably make itself apparent very shortly. Anyway,
Oh no.
unpausing
no.
the game.
Ah, good times. I'm sorry, everybody. Hopefully it's not a critical issue here.
So, what would y'all's like to do? If you recall, the guy was you in the limited time of flight that you had available to you. You saw the guy, he saw you, then he flipped you off as you were flying and
Okay.
looking at him, and then
That's right.
dipped into the forest.
That's right. I couldn't remember if the flipping us off was from the last time, but no, yeah, you're right. I do remember that now. Yeah, definitely taunting us. And you begin to wonder, like, is this a test? Is this, somebody who's like, well, I want to see like how capable they are? Or is this guy just kind of an asshole and like going to be dragging us into, various things to try and kill us? I mean, I feel like if he wanted us dead, why not just kill us? Why just take our weapons, It's very suspicious. Well,
Thessalonian and cheese.
it is Thessalonian and cheese, which with extra sauce on the side. Well, how's everybody doing? Do we need a short rest to recuperate anything?
Did we leave off? We were chasing, right? We
Yeah,
were kind of
we
like
were.
Yeah, or okay, so we
it was
were
like on the
our way
run,
to that.
prestidigitation and mending spells, and we were like, yeah, in action.
And that
Action
was what it
chase.
was at the end. We had like it was like the superhero running, and then screenshot, right?
Yeah.
Into action. That's what it was. Okay, so we were going to be gallivanting off after that guy. So I think it was off in this general direction in the northeasterly way or something. Was it north,
Yep.
northeast, or east? Okay. So I assume, yeah, before it would have ended, it would have been like, there he is. He just flipped us off. Get him.
Yeah, it became not as much of an offense that he took your stuff. Now it's he flipped you off. It's like, now that's the true
Now it's
crime here.
personal. I mean, basic weapons can be replaced, but an insult is forever.
Emotional damage takes more time to heal.
That's right.
Alrighty. So you start to give chase,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna need somebody to give me a survival check to see if you can even pick up on the dude's tracks at this point.
I'm going to volunteer that not be me.
And since you had failed the skill challenge before and the weather conditions, it's going to be at disadvantage.
All right, let's see.
I wish I had more effects. All right, so with a 10, let's see, even if you had rolled well, that would have been a 14, yeah. So with a 10, you are able to track him to where he last was seen, which was where Kalia saw him, or Altani had seen him. But the track's just in there, as you'd notice the weather has picked up a good bit. The rain, the somewhat light rain has picked up very rapidly. And it has very, very, very quickly gone from, it's a night rain. You can go out, you can walk in it, now the wind has kicked up, the trees start to sway and lean and bend against the heavier wind. The the sky has grown much darker than it was before. It's like, there's a maybe a little space in the clouds here and there where you could see the sky. Now it's just all just dark. The sun has been completely engulfed by the cloud cover. The wind has picked up very rapidly, and you're pretty sure, you're very confident, as in, don't even need to really be confident because it's happening anyway. You start to hear like thunder, you start to see lightning going off, and this is all amid you trying to chase this guy down. Like, you're not even necessarily sure how long you've been chasing this dude because you're so focused on trying to get to this guy. Like, your main focus has been this dude, but at some point during this little chase, the weather has definitely gone from rainy to thunderstorm, which for some of you might be somewhat beneficial.
Are we looking at you, Price?
What?
Didn't you earlier tell us you could make use of all this? And Aldani's just kind of like gesture broadly to all the lightning and thunder and weather madness.
You just kind of see like almost like some static electricity. And like if you've seen in the Pokemon how like Pikachu's cheeks get like staticky a little bit. To see like the edge of Price's mustache just kind of like has a bit of static on it. Oh, maybe.
Hmm.
I
Well,
think we gotta go that way, but um, I don't see many tracks anymore.
Let me
it
remove
seems like
these.
with the way this the MO of this guy, he let us know what direction he was going in. He obviously wants us to follow. But if he's leading us into another trap, we might want to go slowly. So I propose maybe we go to where we last saw him and maybe go slowly out from there. I
Sure.
mean, with this mud, it's going to be slow going no matter what. I won't be able to fly again until I get a good rest. So I'll be land bound with you guys for now.
Yeah, I would assume that we would just keep moving.
Yeah, keep going in the direction we saw the guy.
All right. So you give chase. Well, try to pick up the tracks if more than anything. And like I said, the weather is stormy, so ranged attacks will be at disadvantage, in part due to visibility, but part due to wind and obscurity.
Like reduced visibility because like we won't be able to see them because the wind won't affect my soul blade,
Correct.
but visibility probably would. Yeah.
So it's disadvantage on perception checks as well as basically anything sight based. And also for ranged attacks, for basically physical ranged attacks. So arrows, thrown weapons, those will also have disadvantage on account of the wind situation. It is that windy. Not enough to sweep you off your feet, but you feel like if you were like in an open field like this, then if it weren't for the trees breaking a lot of creating a bunch of resistance in the wind, then it probably could be somewhat bad for you. Not nearly as bad as the time that the wagon got scooped up in the storm, but it's pretty bad. less wind, more rain and obscured. Um, just so you understand the mechanics of the storm here. So yeah, you're giving chase, and eventually you come to what appears to be a large. Yeah, I'll even craptastically draw a vague shape. Give me a second here. This could be fun. Yeah. Color do I have right now? Red. Perfect. Just this huge pile of bones of varying degrees of creatures. The pile itself goes like you can't see to the other side because looking at it from top down, you might. This is just a rough idea, but from your angle, you cannot see over like the pile, so you don't know like how big it is. But it's a good, I don't know, 10, 15 feet tall of just bones of who knows. And interestingly enough, these bones are not disturbed by the wind. It's almost as if it is untouched.
Hmm.
Still getting rained on, but the wind does not seem to be like blowing this pile over and sending bones just flying everywhere. And nestled atop the pile is a singular object that you kind of can't really see from here due to the wind and the rain.
Well, that's ominous.
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. And that's so weird. Do you guys see how the bones aren't even being moved by the wind? Either those are really heavy or something else is going on.
Well, don't bones. I don't know many bones that are moved by wind.
But you would think maybe like the light ones would be blown around, right? Well, I guess, okay, out of character. Yeah, it's not like you were saying, it's not super duper windy, it's rainy more so.
Yeah,
And they probably would
it's
have already settled into their space.
like it's windy enough that these bones should be getting tossed around.
And especially if
And
they're skulls, they would catch the wind and kind of roll.
anybody have an idea on identifying what type they are?
Can we see the edge that's close enough to us? Would that be close enough to see somewhat clearly through the rain? Or do we have like 10 feet of visibility kind of thing?
That would be perception.
Okay. I'll see. I'll kind of squint my way over. Are we doing disadvantage on perception for that close?
Yes, because you still kind of have to like squint your eyes a
Hey.
bit to not get like plants and just like dirt and stuff like blown into your eyes. 15.
Mhm.
Let's see. You would see some skulls. You'd see maybe some humanoid skulls, some animal skulls. Those are the things that stand out the most because, a lot of bones do look somewhat similar. But the skulls and the skulls and the spines and usually like the waist or hips or like joints are the ones that'll stand out the most. So you see that there is a amalgamation of varying degrees of creature. What they are would require a different check.
Let's see. Well, I'll relay kind of what I saw. And let's see. It'd probably be like, what, nature or history?
Nature.
Nature? Well, I'm not a naturalist, but those definitely look like bones of many creatures. That's for sure. How about you, Bryce? You're a druid, right? Do those look like anything you'd recognize?
Those are bones.
Well, I'm glad we're in agreement on that.
Yep. Definitely bones. So where's the guy that took our stuff?
Well, he went off in that direction. I'm going to point. The bone zone.
And actually, with the 15, yeah, I'll give it to you. Nestled atop this pile of bones appears to be a club, a singular club.
How big is this club?
Medium size.
Like humanoid, like medium human person could wield it, or large humanoid could wield it.
Medium. I mean, technically, a
Okay.
large person could wield a medium. It would just be
Well,
really
fair.
small. Roll the hammer.
Well, I'll relay that to the group. I'm also wondering why is it on top of the pile of bones without whatever would normally hold it? I wish we had a necromancer with us, because maybe they could tell us if there's something about those bones we need to worry about. Unless any of you are really, really curious about that club, do we maybe want to go around it?
Mm. I'm okay going around.
Might be our best bet. So I would like to stealthily make my way around. Will this also be at disadvantage?
Stealth, no.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, it might even help. Oh, hey. So I want to go over here and see if I can get just a better perspective on what's going on.
You're probably the same distance, so nothing's really changed. The big pile, though.
Yeah.
So originally
I'll
your
go
view
over.
was this angle of it, right? Now your view
Mhm.
is this angle of it.
Yeah, but I could also see kind of past it a little bit easier, right?
Not really. Stormy weather, view distance issues.
Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Well, then I'll come a little bit further. And let's see what I see over here.
That exact movement pattern. Feel free to give me a dexterity saving throw. As you're
Alright.
moving through here and you feel the ground beneath you just collapse,
Oh, dear.
and there is a pit beneath you, but you jump out of the way
Oh, thank goodness.
as you stepped basically into a little pit trap, right? I use a square.
He's so small.
It was only like a 5-foot square.
Thank goodness I made it out alive. Probably as I jump, like, oh, okay. Well, that's not good. Whoever is around here definitely doesn't want us going this way. I better go back and let everybody know what's going on. So I'm going to go real slow. Let's
Tracing your
see.
exact footsteps.
And then around. I want to go around the pit trap. And otherwise, I'll retrace my footsteps back the way I came in. Because aside from that, the rest of it was safe.
Nothing else seemed to have happened.
Okay. Well, guys, all right. Got to be careful because I ran into a pit trap going over that way. But otherwise, I can't see anything else going on around here. I'm just not sure if we have to worry about that elsewhere.
Um, and there's just like there's no sign of the thief.
Not from what I've seen so far. Which tells me that they're either on the other side of that bone pile or possibly in the trees on the other side of the forest or this opening here.
What if they're hiding in the bones?
They could be. Do we want to go check it out? Or do we want to try and go around it?
I don't know.
How about you, Gnome? Any insight? Seen any bone piles like this in your travels with your uncle?
Have I seen anything like this, DM?
I don't know. Give me a history check. You
That's
have
an
not.
8 from Decatur. All right. I'm gonna look all the way up here, and then I'm gonna look to where like that booby trap was, and just kind of give like an impassive shrug and just say, I don't know. I'm just here to do what I'm told. Do you need me to go check for more traps? That way, if something blows up, it doesn't have to be you.
I mean, I think we'd all appreciate none of us blowing up. If you are pretty good at finding traps, that might be helpful.
Oh, they just tell us to. And then he pauses, and then he just nods. And then as I go up, I'm going to be like stomping on the ground as hard as I can. And you can tell that this is how goblins check for traps. They send somebody to jump around and just like make as much noise. And I'm just jumping up and down.
Hey, stop. That is not an effective way to look for traps.
I mean,
That's,
it's probably
that's an effective way to
effective.
set traps off. Here,
Yeah,
let
that.
me.
This is the only way to be sure there's 0.
Well, let me send the imp in.
So far, no traps.
You know, it might be that there are traps on the other side because they don't want us to go around.
So, what side?
I'm going to
Um,
point. I'm going to point to where well, out of character, you see the square? That's the pit
Mhm.
trap that I almost fell in. So it could be good to find out if there is a safe way around this pile. Or maybe send your imp up to see what's at the top of the pile.
Okay.
So your imp is flying, right?
Yeah, and invisible.
Okay, because this is definitely going to be some pretty difficult terrain for it because of the wind conditions, and the imp is tiny. Your imp is getting just buffeted around by the wind.
I want to like look at this little imp as I imagine there's like a point where like the wind's blowing so hard it's almost like it's trying to veer forward, but it's kind of like hovering in place against this windfall, right? And so I wanna dip down low, probably get on all fours, and I want to get right underneath it and just kind of follow its pathway.
And you said it's currently invisible?
Oh well.
So you would give me a perception check, but disadvantage because of the weather conditions.
I don't
Alright,
know. It
that's
might be
13.
easier to see it because if rain's hitting a surface,
Which is
even if it's
exactly why I'm
invisible-
providing
Yeah.
an ability to see it, but a 13 is not going to be enough to see it. Because if you rolled high enough, it would be like you'd see like water hitting something in motion, like a leaf or two getting stuck on just something invisible, like right next to you, kind of thing. But
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'm just gonna go the way I think that it's going, which is gonna veer over here to the left. And same thing. I'm just gonna be crawling up, and then I'm gonna lick my finger and stick it in the air to see which way the wind's blowing, even though it's super obvious. And then I'm just gonna nod like this is what I do. I'm like a wilderness survival tracker goblin, right? And I'm just gonna crawl over these bones.
all right, give me initiative as
Yeah.
the imp and gnome start crawling on bones, and some of them begin to swirl and just
Oh, no.
animate and forming into fearsome creatures.
I want to shout and just say, "I found the trap."
I'm gonna holler at Noah and be like, "Good job."
Gnome's actually gonna like be a little proud of himself as they say good job and like crack a little smile.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta roll for me too. Or does that work? Or you can remove that one, right? 'Cause-
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna turn to Vimac and be like, see, his goblin method was maybe not prudent, but it was effective.
So for the imp, we just go off of Vimax initiative.
That's it. So I see two. My
So-
imp is next to two, right adjacent to two enemies.
So this is something that pretty much everybody can see because these are just things bursting out of the pile of bones. You see. Get the image. Oh wait, 1, 2, 5. Missing an initiative. Who are we missing?
Oh me.
Kalia. Um. doot, doot.
There we go.
Artwork. So you see this what seems like a rider atop a skeletal horse, both of which seem very fleshless and in the realm of undead, very much so. And you see this guy.
Oh,
And you see a much larger amalgamation of bones that are a lot less uniform, but just this massive, just a bunch of bodies together with disproportionate limbs, but seems to be all in all still a singular entity, quote unquote entity. All right, so first up is gonna be, oh, they rolled pretty damn good. All right. The big bone pile thing. It's just gonna shamble. It's going to move to Gnome, but not like just standing up and walking to Gnome. It's like part of its body disconnects and forms separate legs, and it almost does this like centipede walk over to you and then reforms in front of you. And swipes at you with what seems like it probably seems like maybe a giant wolf's like paw. Actually, no, let's say a talon. A talon is some kind of creature, obviously, detached from its original host. And it goes to Law.
I will also say, if I was on
Oh.
all fours crawling, then they would have advantage on these attacks for being prone.
I mean, if it's you wanna.
I think it's only fair, right? Because I was thinking if it's that strong of winds, I would get down low, and I'm not going into a pit. I'm going into a pile, like that rises, it elevates. So
Then that natural one becomes a 15.
okay.
If you're crawling, are you really prone?
Yes.
Is it prone on your stomach and supines on your back?
I think prone just means like almost like you've
Laying
lost.
down.
Yeah, laying. Yeah, like your hands and neither your hands or feet are like holding you up. It's like
No.
I know in nursing school, that's what they taught us, where it was like prone is your face down, supine your face up.
yes, but I think in D&D, well, like the idea is like, because if you're army crawling, you're still able to move and you're still aware, and you could probably push
Yeah.
yourself out of the way. But prone in D&D, I thought was more like you're like a turtle on its back. Like you're unable to, you can't defend yourself, you can't roll out of the way.
Well, sometimes you take it as a defensive position, right? So like they get advantage if they have melee attacks, but if they have a bow and arrow and you drop prone on purpose, they have disadvantage to hit you because you're a smaller target.
But if you drop prone on purpose to avoid like a projectile, then the next melee that goes after you would probably get it. But if you're actively crawling, I would say that it was like more of an intentional crouch. Or I guess you tell us, were you crouching or were you like flat
No,
on your belly?
I'm definitely on my belly. I'm like
Okay.
crawling with my elbows.
I guess like situationally, would your character in this moment, seeing these things form, would you pop up to your feet, or would you like get smaller, like lay lower to avoid being detected? Because if you laid down prone, then yeah, you're prone. If you stayed crouched, but if you decided in this moment, I'm gonna
Actually,
pop
that's
up
a
to my
good
feet,
idea. Could I have been trying to hide from this? It's such a small position.
I mean, if you were first in the initiative, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. All right, I'm willing to take the hits. I'm all right. 15's gonna miss. What's the next one? 25. That's gonna hit.
So it is going to claw you for a whopping 11 damage.
Okay. Well, as it tries to claw me, this is where it's a good thing I'm on my stomach and not my back because my sword is on my back. So I just kind of like immediately, because the first attack is gonna miss, right? The claw. So that's kind of me rolling to the side, right, a little bit, and then I'm gonna pull out that long sword to kind of deflect some of the damage. It's called I gotta look. I'll deflect attack. If I am hit by either bludgeoning or piercing or slashing damage, I can use my reaction to subtract 1d10 plus 11. And since that's guaranteed to be at minimum 12, that means I would reflect all the claws. And if I do that, I can spend one focus to counter a melee attack. and get my own swing on it. The target needs to do a dexterity saving throw and get a 14 or higher, or it takes 2d8 plus 4 damage.
30 saving throw, normal.
This is all that new monk stuff. All right. So turning a disadvantage into an advantage. 10's not going to be enough. It's a 14, so that would be 8 plus dex. And then in turn, it would take 15 damage instead from a
Let me
+1
add that.
longsword.
2, 15.
I guess it could have been like bludgeoning. Let me. I think the damage type's definitely going to matter. Let me read what this says on the. There, I can just click it.
Piercing damage. You can expend one focus, redirect the point of force. If you do so, creature within 5 feet of south.
Okay, 2 rolls of your martial arts die. Okay, that's what it is. And the martial arts is so that would be bludgeoning. I just want to make sure that because sometimes I know bony creatures might have a resistance to different types of attacks. So it's not slashing or piercing; it's bludgeoning.
Okay. So it seems like your retaliation was more effective than your sword swing. Let me check. Are you a magical weapon?
It
That's
is a
plus
magical weapon, and then I think my weapons, my fist, and everything, my unarmed attacks also count as magical weapons.
All right. Yep. So you seem to have done, a good chunk of damage to it. Okay. All right. All right. So it moved and did its thing. That's its turn.
Okay. Sorry to be a stickler. The 2014 said magic. The 2024 says I can use either force damage or normal damage. So I'm just gonna do normal damage. To be bludgeoning.
Okie dokie.
Here, I'll click it too. All right, so for everybody else who's watching this, right, I'm on the ground, I'm crawling on, this thing rises, it runs at me. The first claw attack, I kind of like roll to the left, like barrel roll style, right? I immediately grab my long sword. It kind of parries the attack, it counters it, it keeps it like from hitting me, almost acting as like a shield. And then using like the weight of that sword dug into this mountain of bones, I'm just gonna do like a couple kicks, right, to its legs, almost like I'm trying to sweep the leg, right? Not that it does that. It's it doesn't give a condition, but just basically like a little goblin kid kicking somebody's legs.
Bite his ankles. And that was all on the reaction, basically.
Yes.
So
I don't have a reaction anymore.
Altani.
All right. Well, let's see. Well, I definitely don't like a big old bone pile going after our little buddy gnome, so I will attack that first. And let's see. There we go. And did you say there's disadvantage for this right now? Or if I got closer, would that make it just a normal roll? Or am I close enough that it would be a normal roll?
Which one are you aiming for?
The bone pile?
40. Yeah, that would be disadvantage.
Okay, I will go a little closer first. Would that be close enough to negate that?
Yep.
Okay. Womp womp. All right, and then we'll offhand it. I don't know why I clicked it again.
Close.
Hey, my offhand hit.
Yes, it do.
So that would be, Let's see here, though. If I want to. I can't change the formula, though. So we'll do this plus. Let's see. 2. Okay, so I'm going to use my sneak attack. And instead of the 4th dice, I'll add trip to that. So 16 damage plus trip.
So a dexterity saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
30 saving throw, normal.
Hey.
So now Gnome and this giant skeleton are on equal footing.
Nice.
So any ranged attack against this thing until it stands up is at a disadvantage because it is prone. Melee attacks have advantage because you have the high ground, Anakin. Is that it for Altani?
Let's see, because I have. Let's see, that was. Let me hold on one second. I'm gonna move back to. I think. Is that what? Yeah. Use the rest of my movement to go back, and I'm done.
All right, Price.
Let's see. Well, I was seeing if I could do a couple of things, but they're both concentration. So I guess I'll try to call lightning, which I'm sure is what you thought I was gonna do.
You can thank Kalia for rolling in the natural 1 on the weather condition.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, um, it is a dexterity saving throw of 15. And it's a 60-foot radius, so I'm pretty sure it will cover the whole map. That's why I didn't put the template down. Also, it would hit both of them because they're right next to each other.
Takes place a cylinder, a 10-foot. Let's see. It takes the shape of a 10-foot cylinder that is 10 feet tall. 60-foot radius. When you cast a spell, choose a point. Okay. Choose a point. You can see under the cloud. A lightning bolt shoots from the cloud. At that point, each creature within 5 feet of that point makes a dexterity saving throw. And which point are you trying to hit?
Right in between these two that are next to each other.
All right.
And
both of them.
the caveat of it being stormy also adds a d10.
Oh,
He passes dex save though.
So then it would just be half damage. All
21.
right, so yeah, 21, and then I guess
11.
was it 11?
And 11.
And Let's see.
So gnome, you're on your belly, like rolling, blocking, defending, deflecting, and just out of nowhere, just this lightning, this bolt of lightning just lands no more than 10 feet away from you and hits both of these dudes. The guy on the horse seems to use like the reins of the horse to, you know, absorb a good bit of it to like get out of the way, but the bone pile of skeletons just seems like it takes the full brunt of it.
Which one of these is like down low? This one right here?
The big one. That's the one that was
The big
knocked
one.
prone.
Okay.
Uh,
For some reason, I was
go-
thinking the big one had a horse. Sorry.
So yeah, I'll move to there and I believe that will be my turn.
Almost stepped on a trap. All right. All right. This guy right here. He's gonna scoot up to Gnome, who's currently prone.
Mhm, mhm.
He's gonna. Yeah, do this one. He's gonna use the momentum of the skeletal horse atop this pile of bones, which does not seem to be difficult terrain or impede its movement in any way. Almost like this is a very natural terrain for this thing. And he's just gonna swing down at you like an Elden Ring boss or something. And you see the sword just have this, like this weapon it's wielding has this like dark, wispy, like trail as it's swinging. And let's see. And you are prone, so this is advantage.
Uh-huh. $25 is gonna hit.
Yeah, let's see. And then okay. Then he's just swinging wildly. That's 3.
Mm-hmm. All three of those hit.
Oh.
And I already used my get out of jail free card, my escape from damage.
All right. Well, it's a good thing you didn't take the damage before, right?
Right?
Let's see what this adds up to. Normal. Normal. Normal.
$30, so that's 51. 15 of which is necrotic.
Man, aren't you guys so glad we didn't go around the bone pile?
All right, so that knocks me unconscious as they just beat on my bleeding, bloody pulp of a body. I looked like such a martial artist in that moment. I'm like, deflect with this sword, like fucking cat reflexes. I'm just gonna kick him 3 times in the back of the knee, and then this guy on his horse just shows up and just clobbers me, and then everybody sees my eyes roll back in my head, and my body's just limp on this pile of bones, like blood squirting out, mixing with the rain.
I'd probably say due to a little bit of the overkill. You like you see the blade just get run through Gnome, and he's just like a skewer on a kebab.
Like there's like a little bit of effort to pull, like shake my body loose from the blade so that he can use it again. It was embedded like that deep.
And from the trees, you might hear, "Oh, gnome!" And looking at this
All right,
guy,
well,
he's like, "Okay, you're gonna pay."
I'm gonna think back to them telling me I did a good job, and I'm gonna die with a smile on my lips.
Oh no.
That's all he ever wanted to hear. All right, so that's gonna bring us to your first death saving throw.
Is there a button for this? Or
There
we just
is.
roll flat?
It
Oh,
is.
I see.
Yeah,
The skeleton, like skull. Yeah.
Oh my fuck. Sorry.
that is 2 fails.
Oh, no.
Sorry for cursing. Yep, that's 2 fails.
Why is that 2?
A natural 1 counts as 2
Natural 1
fails
counts
on a
as
death
2.
save.
That's a 2.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
right.
true.
You're right. Okay,
It's just a
thank
fail.
You.
Yeah, just a fail.
Oof. All right.
I thought maybe there was something I was missing, and I'm like, wow, that's really rough, man.
Well, that is still the rule, though. Like, if you
It
roll a
was
nat
the
1 on a
red,
death
yeah.
save, yeah.
No, I know, but
I
when
thought
it
it
was the
said
2,
1.
I was like, but that's a 2, and that's
Thank you. Yeah,
I was just going along with it.
was freaking out.
Yeah, thanks, Bryce, because I was just going along with it.
All right. Bye, Mac. You see Gnome still currently impaled on the sword of this skeletal rider.
And do we have any? Was it difficult terrain to walk or no?
Not to walk, to fly, yes.
Well, we'll have to deal with that skeleton guy, but this guy's prone. So I will come in and with my um, I'm going to be attacking the
And-
prone in melee.
Yep, so you'd have advantage because it is.
With my great, with my great sword because that's one equipped.
Could you imagine a creature like this beefed up to the 2024 rules?
So
That
Yeah.
would be crazy.
and with advantage, is that a hit?
Yes.
And
Ooh, actually, Gnome, since you're like losing consciousness, like the last words you hear in your head is like the good job, but the last thing that you see is the stick of Glorb atop this pile of bones.
this is gonna be radiant damage.
Okay. $11.
And that 1 becomes a 2, so that's a 13.
I'll
And then
subtract
with
2
my
more.
thirsting blade, I attack again. 22 hit.
Yeah, do. As you
For another
continue
13 radiant.
to wail into it.
Yeah.
10 feet. Oh no.
A bonus
Oh.
action, I'm going to maintain my connection with my familiar.
Oh no. Okay.
They're gonna move slightly back
So.
and up.
So, this thing stands up. There's 2 things within range. I'm sorry. is the show. Just so you know. So this thing, as it stands up, its body essentially almost parts of it just congeal into like giant like globs, like not really globs, but just like katamari balls of bones, and just collapses into the ground. But it is an action, so that's all it's gonna be able to do. Use ability. So, Vimac, make me a dexterity saving throw. And Gnome, because that's an automatic failure, a bunch of bones collapse on top of you,
Blah.
which adds another tick to the death saving throw.
Uh-huh.
So you are down to your last chance, unless somebody does something. But that is its turn, and it has used its ability, and its body reforms back. It seemed like it was aiming for just trying to crush Vimac, but you just happen to be within reach of it within the 10 feet. So, Altani, you definitely see Gnome has been impaled, partially crushed, and you can just see like the life leaving his body.
What was the damage?
Oh, right, damage.
I take half, right?
Yeah, because you let's see, because you got a 19. You used Clem to roll that, but still 19. 16. So half of that.
Oh, because yeah, that was one left.
All right, Altani.
Let's see. There's nothing I can really do to help save Gnome, is there? I mean, I don't really have any healing. Oh, I have healing hands. Let's see. Can I? Let's see. Oh, wait. Hold on. Can you guys remind me how healing hands would work? Was that something I would have, like, it wasn't showing as, like, do I have to prepare it?
No, that's
I thought
a
that was one of-
ASMR thing.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a feat, right?
Yeah, and I haven't used it, so I'm not sure why. Or did I? I don't think I used it since our
Healing
long
Hands
rest.
is a racial feature. As a magic action, you can touch a creature and roll a number of d4s equal to your proficiency bonus. The creature regains a number of hit points equal to the total roll. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest.
And I haven't used it since our long rest.
Correct.
So I don't know why I don't have a use. Let's see. Can I edit that, or can you help me edit that so that I could use it? Or can I just say I'm using it and we'll
There,
it's already
edit it.
perfect.
Because
thank
you can just type in like 1 of 1. Those at
Oh,
0.
awesome. Okay. Thank you.
I don't think she's used it yet. No, she hasn't.
Okay.
I don't know why it's at 0.
So all right. And then so let's see. And then my proficiency bonus on this would be what? How would I let's see.
So your proficiency bonus is cheat.
Would it be on is it on medicine or what's I guess
Well-
what's the bonus I should be looking for?
Well, it's just your like general proficiency bonus for being like level 7.
Mm.
That's 3.
Yeah,
3,
on this
okay.
sheet.
Kind of works similar like a paladin's lay on hands.
Yeah. Well, so as I'm seeing, Gnome getting just skewered and beat upon, Viamat got there first, but I'm going to come running out and put my hands on you, maybe help pull you off of the blade. Saying like, not on my watch. Come on, kiddo. Not
So you
leaving us
roll
yet.
3d4s.
Okay, perfect. for 9 hit points.
That's 9 more from being dead, so
It's not much, but it's
Like-
honest work.
Immediately with the rain and the blood, it's like matted my hair down across my face, and I just start coughing and sputtering. But my eyes open up. I'm awake. I'm conscious.
All right.
all right, so that was
Stay
an
with us.
action,
hmm
and we'll have a little bit of movement.
Let's see. I can't really pull him with me with that. Could I? Would that have been another action? Because I would have a bonus, right? Bonus action. Is like any sort of assist something I could do?
Assist is usually an action, so
Okay. Well, then I'll at least just step.
Would it be an action to drag him? Or is it just double movement?
so
Like dragging him with me as I move away.
So for now, I'm trying to stick as close to the rules as written. So the dragging house rule, I might reintroduce it later, but for now, I'm just gonna keep it as written as I get
Which is-
acclimated with the system.
So it's an action, you're saying?
Yeah, to like drag somebody else away, because you've already like. I think in this system, the players have gotten a lot more action economy, like being able to swap weapons freely, like all the maneuverability that's been given. I'm like, I'll stick with as written, see how I like it, how it feels, and if the difficult terrain to drag somebody is something that I want to do later, then I kind of want to do as close to the rules as intended and written for a little bit, because I'm still looking stuff up even as we're going through this. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will just. I don't want to be like too tempting, but I don't want to be too far, so I'm just gonna take a little step back.
all right.
That's my turn. And just as an FYI, I am probably gonna have to get going in about a half an hour.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Price.
So nobody else die.
Well, if they do,
Um,
you don't have any healing hands, so it can't be your fault. You did
True.
your part.
So I'll use my action to cast another lightning bolt, and I'll try and hit both of them again. So it'd be dex saves for both of them.
Dex. Save.
That meets it. The DC's 15.
Dex. That one. Normal.
All right, so they both take half. Ugh.
So 6.
And then I'll use my my bonus action to cast Healing Word.
6.
Second level for my fellow gnome.
All right, let's see what you get. 9 more. So, Gnome, you came back to consciousness. There's probably still a sword in your gut because it hasn't really gone yet. But it's like you got stabbed in the gut, you fell unconscious, and now you're coming to with the sword still run through you, kind of like that second wind kind of character. Like you're probably grabbing onto the sword and like looking at this guy now, and feeling a little bit better. But the question is,
Mm-hmm.
does it know? Let's see. Okay. All right, so it thinks you're still like helpless and dead. I had your token select when I rolled it, but either way, it doesn't matter. It's a d20. Yeah, I'll just unhide that. It has no fucking clue that you're alive. So it's going to go over. And try and slice the shit out of Vimac, who is not prone, so these are just normal attacks. And without words or like any expression on his face, it's just swinging. 1, 2. Wow. Okay then. Oh, that's a wait. Yeah, 1d20. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, 18, 18, 17. All right.
These DM dice over here.
Now you see how we feel. We're like, we're just helpless. You know, we're just happy little adventurers. And then Kuth comes in here like, yeah, you know what? Take that. And then we're just like, aw. Let's see.
Oh, I
Misty
see what this is. This is Kuth revenge.
The dice are saying so. Apparently, I don't know. Actually, technically, it's not because this isn't against Kuth. So, ha.
Facts schmacks.
This is the VMACarian. Let's see. Response. Visible to immediately. Okay.
And I'm. Oh no. I have options to use on my Misty Step on that one.
All right, so what
I'm
you using?
actually going to use Taunting Step. Oh wait, maybe not. Is he down or not?
Is who down?
I'm not
No.
down.
Oh, you aren't. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna do Taunting Step.
Let's see, which one is that? I see Steps of the Fae. See
Creatures
escape.
within 5 feet of the space you left must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw against your
There's.
spell save DC or have disadvantage.
Creatures within. Okay. That'll be both of them. And it is.
Mm-hmm.
Do a save for you. And a save. Alright, what do we get?
So the Skeletal Knight doesn't have a disadvantage, but the Juggernaut has a disadvantage on all his attacks. Unless they're against me.
Alright. Alright, but let's see. I gotta see the effects of this skill.
And then
In
you roll the
response.
damage on your first one.
Okay, so response to the first one.
Which would mean this thing still has 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, so let's get the damage out of the way real quick for the first. It is interesting that they gave like a lot more turn interrupting and reaction things, because I remember them saying they were like, when they were designing like some of the reaction stuff, they were just like, we don't like having stuff that's turn breaking. It's like now they just add a bunch of turn breaking stuff. It's like, I wonder why they chose to roll that one back. But time and I guess preferences. So 13 damage. And it still has 2 more attacks. And it thinks Gnome is dead. So it's gonna mosey up to Altani and roll 2 more of its attacks. This attack 1, huzzah, and attack 2, huzzah.
They both hit, but because of something I have, I think I take half damage. I can't remember what it was from.
I think it was a rogue thing.
This
Evasion?
one. Well,
Uncanny
there's
dodge.
uncanny dodge.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, so I'll definitely do that.
On which attack before I roll damage? The first one or the second one?
First one.
Okay. So this first one will be at, let's see, half damage. Round it down.
Okay.
So 7. And then you take the full 13 from the second attack. And at this point, like Gnome, you're no longer impaled on the sword because it's swiping at other people. Like it just dropped you to the, which is kind of funny, right? Because when, well, it wasn't your turn yet, so I guess it did just kind of drop you to the ground, though. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. But then it is your turn, as you are prone but awake and alive. And the thing that stabbed you is trying to murder Altani. What do you do about that, Gnome?
I'm gonna stand up from prone, which I use, I believe, half my movement, right?
Yep,
Unless that's different now.
that's still half, I'm pretty sure.
All right. I'm gonna slide over a little bit, and it's one of those. It's very like I'm very like sluggish, and like my arms are almost kind of like drooping, and it has like that pendulum swing to it, right? And I'm still like I got these big chunky boots that clearly weren't made for goblins that I'm wearing, and they're crunching on these bones as I'm like shifting. And then I reach for my sword, which I had like planted in the ground defensively next to me, so it's still like within reach, right? And I'm gonna look across to Altani and just say, my uncle always said that a goblin's best weapon, and then I look towards my sword, is his head, and then I'm gonna headbutt this thing 4 times.
Amazing.
All right, so which is gonna cost a key point too, or focus point. It's not key.
Yep, and advantage on all these attacks.
Oh,
You're flanking.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ooh.
And you get an inspiration from that natural 20.
Nice. All right, hold on. Let me mark that on here. Things are turning around for old Gnome. All right, we're gonna do normal.
You know what's funny? This is such a
What?
Gan moment. Like when he got
It
down.
is. All right, so 18, 27, 37, 45 damage.
Okay. So
All bludgeoning. As you see, Gnome with his sword, like he's gonna hack and slash this thing. I wanna like leap up into because my head's so much smaller down here than his, right? Add some like anime flavoring to it. And my head was probably already bleeding. I've already coughed up like blood all over my lips and like it's onto my little tank top. And I just start smashing my head, and you can see like this goblin's head is as thick as a brick, as if this is like my go-to attack. I just smash it with my forehead over and over again, trying to make the bones crack underneath it.
Actually, you know what? Let's see. Oh. So I will say you smash into this guy with so much force that you cause the horse's legs that it's on to buckle.
Nice.
Don't want to interrupt. I was in the bathroom, so I was AFK and I couldn't bring it up. But the hits on Altani should have been with disadvantage because of the taunt that Vimac had.
Oh right.
Oh yeah.
No. It passed the check. The
Yeah.
Oh, it was the
big
other
one
one that had it.
thing
Oh, I'm
was
sorry.
the one
I'm
that
sorry.
failed.
Yeah, the big
Okay.
guy.
Don't mind me.
And I feel like I should have like an indent in my forehead from the impact of this. And as this horse's like legs are buckling and stuff, and there's rain pouring down and thunder, and we had lightning just 6 seconds ago, I'm gonna like peer around to Altani, and I'm just gonna say,
My mic is picking
"You're
up.
doing a good job too."
I'll just smile and be like, thanks, kid. I try. You're
I am
probably
a
all
kid.
like bloodied up and you're just like you're in the thick of it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm just over here just barely getting smacked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're like,
that was a
let's take
Windows
this guy
update.
out together, yeah?
You got it, dude. And then I give a thumbs up like the Olsen twins.
Windows
Hey.
update screwed up my audio settings again. I gotta fix that later. All right, so Vimac.
Okay. So. That did change things based on. I'm going to use my bonus action to second wind.
Psychic damage. Psychic damage.
Fighter level, which is 1.
I gotta put something in chat to read
And-
it. Right back. Don't mind me.
Not doing too well, so
Ogre.
and I think it is going to want to come after me. So here and just blast.
Second wind
So second-
and
This
bonus action.
skeletal.
So from this distance, you will be at a disadvantage for range attack. As per weather conditions.
Hmm. Guess so. I should have attacked first, but now.
You flies way off. 18 hit.
Is
A whopping 1 point
right.
damage.
That's not right because it's not It did. The new thing doesn't work, so it didn't pull in my modifiers.
What's your modifiers? Plus what?
Well, I think my charisma. So it was 4 then.
4 damage.
Yeah, it used to auto apply when I took agonizing blast. It would auto apply it to my Eldritch Blast, but now it doesn't.
Last feature, Eldritch Magic. Something is not triggering. Okay. That's going to be needing to delve even deeper into how the system works. All right. Is that all you got that you want to do?
That's all I can do.
All right. The big boy. Oh, it's pretty much just gonna go for the closest thing it can, so gonna shamble on up to Gnome. And it's gonna swing again with its big meaty claws.
And this one has disadvantage though, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the disadvantage from again?
The taunt
Yeah.
Misty Step thing.
It failed its wisdom save.
Creatures within 5 feet of the space you left. Haunting step, right. Disadvantage, yep, okay.
So that makes that first one an 18.
I have to scroll through the log. Let's see here. So the first one would miss because I rolled it first and then the second, so I'm just doing first and second again.
Okay.
Then the second one, definitely a miss. Ooh. Okay. So you see, let's see, how can I be creative with this? All right. So you see as it goes to swing at you, it just goes way over your head. Okay, perfect. So it goes way over your head, and you see like some of it swings so far, so heavily, so fast that like its arm, like one of the arms just rips itself out of the, where a socket would be and just gets flung off into the distance, and it stumbles a bit, and you can see like all the varying degrees of shambling that holds it together. Like you can just see like parts of the bones just breaking, like like a femur is like almost broken in half. You see all these like compound fractures forming in a bunch of the bones. And that way, all right, that's its turn. Altani.
All right. Well, I am not happy about getting smacked upon, so I'm gonna shoot him, as one does. Oh, I also wanted to ask, would my evasion not have applied? Because are only ranged attacks do only ranged attacks use dexterity for a save, and melee attacks don't?
There wasn't a save for it. It's just an attack roll.
Just okay, yeah, just checking.
Yeah, evasion is
Perfect.
you jumping out of the way of like a fireball or
Gotcha. That makes
Uh,
sense. Cool.
yeah.
Thanks. All right. Would I have advantage since Gnome's on the other side of him?
Yes, you would.
Hey, what up, buddy?
I
I'm
think you
gonna
also
just
have
be.
advantage just because of see, yours.
Somebody's in.
The
in-
Nick
yeah.
property, right?
Oh yeah,
It
that's right.
is, Vex. Yeah.
That's right. I actually did not remember that. My very first attack, I should have taken that into account, but that's okay. I will remember. Oh yeah, well, my very first attack would have not had it on there, but my bonus attack applied it for this one. That's right. I'm gonna have to like put a sticky note on my computer to remember that.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it's
guys.
tough to remember those.
Oh man, so bad.
There's a bunch.
All right. Oh yeah, right. Okay, we're gonna do the same things last time.
I
We're
think
gonna
the more
do
you do
the
it, the easier it gets. Is just practice.
probably. Yeah. No, definitely. So we'll do the same as last time. 3d6 damage, and then with trip, which is the. Let me see here. I'll do it here so you can have the thing.
So this guy. Normally, I would say I would give him advantage because he is on a horse, but due to Gnome hitting it so hard and causing the horse's legs to buckle a bit, I'll say it's just a normal roll. A token.
Hey.
So
So he falls with prejudice.
So it's like it's like in one of those movies where one guy's like behind the bad guy and he like hits him in the back of the leg, and then the other person on the other side just like goes to like push them over while they're off balance.
Yeah, I'm imagining like basically shooting him almost like in the head, and he's just so put off that as he moves and the horse's legs are buckling, he just slams to the ground. Feel like that's what you get. And then think
And they're both not looking too hot right now.
then I'm gonna go ahead and just do secondhand attack. I was debating on using my hunter's mark, but I think this will be. Well, let's see. What else do I get on these? I need to click a thing to read it. Pardon me. All right. Oh, that was just for the things here. Okay. Never mind. All right. Yeah, so we'll just do second attack here. My offhand.
Stab.
Hey, nice. And this is just an itty bitty one, but still, any little bit helps. Add another 3. Add a little bit of extra insult to that injury.
And Vex.
Yeah.
All right, Price.
All right, so so Scooter has been standing next to Price this whole time. But just kind of seeing that Gnome went down and it is now kind of surrounded slightly, and Altani's getting in a fisticuffs with this knight that she just knocked down. Price is gonna send Scooter in. Scooter, go peck that fucker. And so Scooter's gonna run in, and he's prone, right? Oh, hold on, I'm
Yep, he's
dragging
prone.
Price. Okay. Scooter's gonna run in, like wings spread out, beak just sticking out forward, just in a proper war goose charge. And do a beak attack. Hey, let's go, Scooter. For 8 damage. And is you said this thing's not looking too good?
No, it doesn't seem like it.
So Price is gonna move just over to here. And if I tried to hit this guy with a lightning bolt, can I directly center it to where it would only hit them and not anyone surrounding it?
You could aim it to the tile up left.
So like there. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And also wouldn't hit big dude. So
It
I'm
would,
only
because it's
hitting one of them,
adjacent.
right?
It'll be adjacent to that square.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
then thank you. I'm gonna do that with my action.
I mean,
my
unless you really
action-
want to hit Gnome and make it look even, you know, Gnome could duck out of the way and it'll be even more
He's-
epic.
I mean,
Or he'll die instantly. I mean, either way.
well, you do take half damage on a failed save or a successful one. Otherwise, I would have confidence that he would dodge out of the way. Ooh, see, this would be one of those times.
Maximilian would do it.
Altani. This would be one of
Yeah.
those times, Altani, where the evasion would come in hand.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I could hit you with a lightning bolt, and if you succeeded, you wouldn't take any damage instead of taking half.
That's true.
Just things
I mean,
to think about, I guess.
yeah. Yeah. If you
cool.
accidentally hit me with lightning, I will definitely keep that in mind.
Cool rogue features. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. I'll use my action to cast that. I think that will be it's DC 15 dex saves.
And are you telling me this because I'm going to need to use it for you to be able to hit this guy? Because I can do that.
No, you're good. I was just bringing up this was just
Yeah.
this is a spell that has a dex save.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Nice. Let's go. All right, so 23. And so Scooter's action economy is done. But I will do.
Oh.
What's up?
Oh. That's enough to push the knight over. Like, he's already on the ground, knocked prone. Like, Gnome took the horse's legs out from it, and then Altani just like finished knocking him like off the horse, and maybe even the force of the hit like pushing them both over. And then while it's on the ground, looking to the sky, arms splayed out like it's about to make a little like snow angel. It's a perfect like top-down camera view of this lightning bolt just impacting.
So Price will also do another healing word. For Gnome, since this big mound of skeletons is rambling behind him. So another 7. And that'll be my turn because I moved, and yeah, I think that's all my action economy.
Right. Big thing is already together. Gnome.
Oh wait, do you want to swap with me because we're on the same?
Me? Okay.
Yeah, here. Well, at least I could just to do my movement.
Okay.
So 35, and then I'm going to use my or cloud jaunt and teleport to its backside to give you advantage.
Nice. Wondered if Gnome's gonna just headbutt this thing again.
With advantage.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna turn around and just kind of mutter like things that I've been taught, right? So it's like, if at first you don't succeed, try again or whatever. And and like it's just every single part that I can get, whether it's a knee or a shin, somebody's chest. It's just this is the only weapon in my arsenal. Despite I'm still holding the longsword with both hands.
Yeah.
I'm two-handing it, and I'm just gonna go around and rear my head back and just smash 4 more times.
I can picture you almost like inspecting the sword just to make sure it's like, oh, okay, blade's still fine. Kind of like flick it a couple times and listen to the ping. It's like
Yeah.
perfect for striking. And then you just go in and headbutt.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Like I like how the unarmed attacks also let you grapple if you want. They let you shove if you want, similar to the changes to like sneak attack. But no, we're just gonna headbutt 4 times.
I do think that's cool.
Oh, I forgot
So
to
many
do.
things got more versatile.
I forgot to do advantage on that one. So this is for the second one. I mean yeah. So that's a 24.
That's gonna hit.
All right, now I'm gonna hit advantage. 2, 3, 4. So 24, 17, 26, 22.
All right, give me some damage because they all hit.
Okay. These are 1d8 plus 4 damage, right? Oh, plus your app. Let's do one and see what the formula is real quick. All right. Yeah. So that's the first one.
Okay, so
And then 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna do 2d8 plus 8 extra. There we go. So 32 damage total. That is the wrong button. That's a 1d20. I hit attack instead of damage.
I was like,
Sorry.
wait a minute. Just give me separate numbers because that's gonna matter.
Oh, okay.
So 7 and 7 and 7.
A 7, a 7, a 7.
Ooh, that's
What?
a lucky number. 3 sevens.
That's pretty lucky.
Also, how much time do you have left, Kalia?
I should probably get going. But I figured this was a pretty epic turn, so I didn't want to interrupt. Do we want to finish out this this round, and after Vimac I can get going?
Yeah, I'm calculating something.
Yeah.
There's a specific reason I wanted to know how much each individual wants. That's
Each individual would have been 7 plus 4, so 11.
That's
11.
amazing.
I did 5 and 11 and 11 and 11.
What crazy turns.
Nine. 5, 4, 3. Okay. Okay. And can somebody roll me a quick little d12?
Probably should not be me.
Probably gnome.
Oh, nice. Not a 1. Pleasant. Okay, I'm just curious what I would have rolled now. Let's see. Oh. What? 2 1s.
That probably would have been better.
2
no.
concatenated ones.
12, 11 to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Actually, so you would see as Gnome is just headbutting the crap out of these skeletons, you start to see some of them reform, but due to whatever, like the bones breaking, a lot of it is unable to actually functionally do so. And as it does so, what is able to reform, that over for a sec, is 2 basic bitch craptastic normal skeletons. To which happens when it dies. So it's dead, but I'm confident this will be very quick.
So I can attack the ones that are left.
Yep, you know what? I won't even add them to the initiative yet. Let's see what you do. Yep, that's definitely gonna hit. Yep, that's 1 dead. Ooh.
Oh.
Give me a d20, my good sir. Okay, nothing happens. This time. But that definitely misses. Alright,
Are
so
you doing
1
D20s
survives.
for fumbles instead of D100s?
Yeah, it's just...
It makes sense. Yeah.
It's basically the same number, just without an extra 0.
Yeah, exactly.
I just won't roll this one because instant dead. Alright, Altani. Top of the order and 1 skeleton with probably not a whole lot of health to it.
Well, needless to say, I go in shooting.
Yeah. I use my
Yep.
bonus action,
So-
so I can't use my hue.
Yeah, so I'll go the one that's kind of close to Gnome there. And I got my Nick. I assume that hits.
The nick would have been on the big one, or the thing that you last hit.
Doesn't
the-
it reapply after
No, it's
oh.
on that one, the same thing.
Yeah, so like the nick is
Oh,
like
gotcha.
the whatever thing you hit, so if it's still alive that turn.
Yeah,
Vex,
it's
yeah.
Vex.
And it's
I was gonna mix
Vex. Because
Oh, this was still
you can-
this was the first of both rolls, so this would have been my roll anyway.
Yeah.
You can see it on your psychic blade too, right there. It says mastery Vex.
Oh, which is on the next attack roll for that creature. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was starting to get distracted with other things.
You're good.
Alright, so give me some
Thanks for the
damage.
All right. Let's see. I don't really need to knock it over, so
Jeez.
And it is not immune to psychic damage, so yeah, it just crumbles. Just it's
I'm
like
just-
it's
well, you
like
guys-
whack-a-mole. Like they
well, you
popped
guys-
out
yeah.
and you guys just bump them.
put him down. like what you guys probably saw was after the big guy goes down and then the skeletons pop up. I'm like, no, no, and I just zap it out. Be like, no,
It just ends.
stay down. Very
It's
dead.
so nice to see these damage rolls from rogues. I just have to say.
So great. Thank you. It's very satisfying.
All right. And you have effectively fended off undead combatants.
That was a little touch and go there for a minute there, folks. Well, I'm going to
And-
come over.
I was just going to say, and you notice that there is a very familiar looking stick atop this pile.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna run over. Scooter's probably gonna move up to everyone, make sure everyone's all right. And I think Bryce was gonna try and run up on top of this hill to inspect this stick, make sure it's one he thinks it is.
Oh, you don't even need to inspect it. You know that stick.
Oh, oh! I thought I lost you. He's gonna grab it. Where's everyone else's stuff? You see your stuff? There should be like javelins and hand axes around here. I think Kaito lost a lot of stuff.
Do I see our weapons anywhere?
You do not. You do see a lot
Alright.
of bones and bone piles, but your
Well,
stuff is
after
not
looking-
amidst it.
After looking around, be like, I think he's just taunting us. Either way, good job, little buddy. And I'm gonna high five Gnome.
Hmm.
And then
I-
I'm gonna be,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, no, it's almost like my body's very slow to respond right now, and I'm very like woozy, like I'm gonna pass out, but like the hand goes up for the high five, which I guess for you would be more of like a medium five or a low
Right.
five.
Mid five.
Gnome is like kind of woozy and almost looking like he might be losing his balance, and so Bryce will walk up. Oh, hey, buddy! He's gonna put both of his hands out to kind of catch you and keep you
Oh.
upright.
He's gonna shake his
High
head
five
and
with
say, "Buddy's my cousin. I'm Gnome."
Oh, sorry, Gnome. I'm Gnome too. And he'll heal you for 13 more.
Nice.
It's- Did you give me 7 earlier, or was that was to Vault?
That was to you.
Okay.
That's actually more
This is a good chunk.
because it's not applying your spellcasting ability modifier. It just
Oh, it's not.
Oh, it isn't. Good point. Well, was it doing that? I don't even.
I need to go
I'll
back up
scroll
and
up
see.
to check. I was gonna check. Yeah. Let me see what my modifier.
It did
is.
not on your healing word.
So it's plus. Oh, geez. So it'd be +4 for all of my heals.
So go into your
Yeah,
things
I'll
Yeah,
edit
yeah,
it
yeah.
for sure. For
at
sure.
the- at
It's
prop.
weird that certain things just. It says it in the tooltip, and it just didn't apply it in the details.
Yeah, I think when the new update happens, it doesn't pull everything in like it used to. I had to like build all mine.
Yeah, I've had to mess with quite a few things, which is it's nice that you can do this so easily though.
Yeah.
So that should be 17, and then I don't have to add the other ones retroactively, I guess. I'll change
I
it.
say
so
we should because that should have applied.
I
the
did,
fact that
and
the
I'm
system-
full health now. So
Okay.
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay.
Like, that was
Awesome.
crazy good.
If that would have just been, yeah, it literally would have just been 3, 4. It would have just been 12 more
It's 12. Yeah.
added
Yeah,
to
that's
that.
a
So
lot.
yeah.
Which is more than a quarter of my health. I've got like 40 health. So
Oh, nice. Perfect. So yeah, I need to add these in. I need to check all of my heals then that apply that.
Mhm.
I have a bunch of different potential heals. I'll do that. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's just
Um
realizing the system
Seems to be
isn't
fine.
picking up on
Yeah.
certain
yeah,
things.
yeah.
Like if
I
it's
had
the
to do that with
system
some of the
doing it, then
spells,
it's
too.
like I'm fine retroactively applying it because that's just the system not working. That's not.
I didn't even catch it. Yeah, so I appreciate you guys mentioning it. Yeah, so Price would have kind of done the cure wounds, is kind of helping up uh Gnome. He'll also well, I was gonna say I would end the storm spell, but I think it still has like 8 or 9 minutes. So I'll keep it up for now while we're still looking around.
It's kind
But
of
does
like
that mean
it's kind
Can
of
I
like that
get one
one
of those
time.
heals too?
Kind of like that one time
Oh,
when
yeah.
you did the rain inside the dungeon, and
Mhm,
you started flooding the room, and you're like, "Oh, wait a minute."
Right. Does this mean though do I have control? I have control over the storm.
Within the 60-foot radius.
Yeah. So I can make it to where like we aren't getting hit by lightning just randomly because I'm
See?
controlling. I'm just wondering that sort of
Well,
speculation. But here, let's see.
Can you, if you can control the storm, can you make it rain the opposite direction so we're not getting hit with rain?
it is a
That's
second level
that's like
spell?
DM discretion. Yeah, because it's like, can I make it to where we're in the eye of the storm and there's just nothing going on right here?
That's the win.
Also, this is for Vald or by Mac. I apologize.
Earthbind ability and
Oh, golly, I'm rolling hot on my heels right now.
Jeez.
Yeah. So why didn't
it's
you
called lightning.
I'm
why
over
didn't you
halfway.
like
No.
leave me as like a shield or something? I don't know why y'all brought me back.
Well, I saw you go down. It wasn't looking good. Even with less than half health, I tried to buy him as much time as possible.
I mean, in my culture, we would have just picked the other goblin up and used them to block the attacks.
Oh, he's gonna pat you on the shoulder as he's kind of standing behind you. We're roughly the same size, but I think you probably might be a little bit taller. He's gonna kind of like pat you on the back, almost arm around you. Oh, you are definitely a shield. You got hit a lot. But we're glad to still have you.
Yeah,
Also,
same. Mhm.
you're really bloody. And he'll cast Prestidigitation.
Control over that
Nice.
spot instead of creating a new one.
Hey, do you have any more of those heals you could pass out? I wouldn't
I
mind a
could
little
pass them out all day. Not really, but you know what?
bit. If you have them to
Who
spare.
who still doesn't feel good?
I'm
Raise your
feeling a
hand.
little woozy.
I'm
I'm gonna raise mine.
feeling
Okay, here.
60
Here we go.
percent-ish.
This will be good. Maybe. It's just
Oh, cool.
so that's there's 9. I don't know why I said a random number, but I hope you feel good.
Thanks, that helps.
Yeah, I mean, let's see.
Oh, I need to see if
Stand over here.
I'm gonna also turn to Vimek and be like, "Hey, big buddy, high five. Great work. Glad you're here." Give him a high
Yeah,
five
this
too.
is quite the adventure. A lot more excitement than my last assignment.
Oh, you two dudes. Oh yeah, this is pretty normal for us.
Which, by the way, I mean, didn't you guys have a barbarian with you? Where's that centaur? Is he okay?
Probably grazing. Or no, they don't. He doesn't eat grass. Running.
it's also
Well, I hope
Also,
funny
they're
that's
all
for
right.
that
that's for
Gnome
Vimac.
brought up they just pick up the gun and use their bodies. Like, I'm pretty sure I've used that exact mechanic in some of the fights before.
Yeah. Do you remember the switcheroo?
I remember it.
Oh, I know you do.
Well, guys, I hate to cut this short. I really do gotta go.
Yeah.
But I would just suggest for maybe tonight, maybe we do a very well protected overnight rest. We know we've cleared out the bone pile from all the baddies. So maybe we could use that to our advantage and do like double guard shifts.
That's a
Recoup.
good I mean, that's actually OOC kind of a good question. So we've been chasing, there's been storms going on. We've been chasing this dude since we woke up. How long? And it's been a while. Is it getting to the point where we would need rest again? Because we've been running and fighting and running and fighting.
It's about nearing afternoon. It's not quite
Okay.
nighttime yet.
It's like 7:01 in the morning.
Yeah, right. It's been 30 minutes since you woke up.
I mean, we've only had to fight, 2 dinosaurs and,
It
some
is
skeletons.
it is kind of funny when you think that each round is 6 seconds. It's like, oh, it really has only been like 2 hours. But yeah, I was thinking if it made sense to rest again like that, even like a short rest. But part of me also thinks if we didn't find anything else except for the stick, Price isn't going to be satisfied with that because
Yeah.
he knows that Kaito lost a whole bunch of his stuff. Everyone lost something, but
Right.
Kaito lost, I think, like 5 or 6 things. So, just like stopping and letting this dude get away feels counterintuitive. However, it also kind of feels like this creature is just sitting at the edge of our, perception and is just kind of like waiting.
What
I kind of
if
think if we took a short rest, they might try and come back and steal more stuff potentially.
or like a long rest, you mean? Because a short rest.
Oh,
we
yes. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so that was my thinking was if we do a long rest, but with double guard duty, we have, a lot more awareness, right? I would assume we get advantage on any perception roll over the night. That if we do notice him coming back, we can wake up the party and go after him if he tries anything. Like almost as like partially to hopefully to
Well, that
rest,
makes
but
sense. Yeah.
also as kind of like a trap, like pretend
Yeah.
like one of, like that everybody's sleeping even, but 2 of us are actually awake.
Yeah. It
Because
would just
we've
be
been
the
chasing this
aspect
guy
of
to no
if he
effect.
just keeps running away with
Yeah.
all, and
Right.
so it's that catch 22 kind of
Well,
scenario.
but I mean, he's keeping an eye on. I mean, if he wanted to get away from
It
us,
seems
he
like
would've.
it. It seems
He
like all of
would've.
this is, yeah.
I mean, this had to have taken some amount of planning. So I get the sense that he's testing us, maybe. Like, maybe this is one of those weird things in his culture where, you test the mettle of adventurers. I don't know. So, but he's not coming after us and he's not sending them after us. It's like he's drawing us into things, giving us this choice of like, do we want to pit ourselves against stuff to get our stuff back? So I feel like if we do a rest and he does come back, we're in control of the environment instead of just endlessly chasing him into bigger and bigger things. Also, too, that way we could recoup some of the actions out of character, I guess, some of the actions that we've used.
Yeah.
For the next big fight. Otherwise, I feel like we're gonna get kind of put in a corner because like I won't be able to heal anymore after this. I can't fly. So like I feel like each fight, if we keep giving in to him taunting us forward, we're kind of like letting him whittle down our power versus we might be able to take it back. But I'll go along with whatever the rest of the party wants to do. That was just kind of my 2 cents on it.
Yeah. I hear you. It's definitely conflicting because I think even in character it makes sense that we've like Gnome, we just watched Gnome get impaled.
Right.
And
Well, 10 minutes before that, I was eaten alive.
Yeah, right.
true.
Yeah,
So it's like so many things have happened in this small amount of time. Everyone's gotten hit pretty much, except I don't think Price has. But But Price has been using a lot of spells. So resting makes sense to try and regather ourselves and things like that. But also just like the only reason it makes sense to Price instead of trying to chase this dude down is if we were convinced that if we made camp, this guy would come back. Like he wouldn't just leave. Because if we make camp for 8 hours and he doesn't come try and steal from us or, keep watch, he just gets bored and just keeps all of our stuff and moves on to the next group, and we just lose it, then it's like, ugh, our only chance would then be to track him and we're 8 hours behind.
True. But is anything he stole truly irreplaceable? I mean, we got Glorb's stick back. That was one of the
Yeah.
more personalized. And yes, Kaito did lose a lot of weapons, but none of them were
yeah. I
they
see,
weren't his
yeah.
playmates, right? So
It's
my thinking
yes,
is
but
just
it's
that
like
it would put us
I can
back,
s
it would suck, but I almost feel like and
So
I'm also kind of digging into my players kind of mentality too. It's like she doesn't like getting jerked around. And after being around for a while, it's like, okay, we're not the prey here. We need to become the hunters. So, how do you lure in something that's been taunting you? You make it think that oh, you're weak, oh no, we're all done. We have no more energy. Oh no. And make it come to us. But that's
yeah,
whatever.
I like that. I think that makes sense. What I'm trying to do is think about it from the character
Yeah.
side of things. So to your point, like we might know something OOC, but I don't want to apply that, so I'm trying to think actually what would Price do? And if it made sense to do that and bait this creature in, and we were pretty confident of that, then he'd go along with it for sure, and he'd probably want to be one of the people that are on watch. And Scooter would pretend to be asleep, but Scooter doesn't need to sleep. And we have Vimax Familiar as well that's invisible that can keep watch. So it's like we have a lot of resources in that regard. One of the thing that you did mention though that I like to remind myself is you mentioned it's like nothing is irreplaceable, but if we lose it, it's still taking a loss, and there's not
Sure.
no, but I think that's a good thing, because in D&D there's no way for you to always succeed, and you shouldn't, because that's character development, that's story building. So I don't want to I don't want to speak for the player, but it would definitely suck if Kaito lost those items, but that adds to the story. Now we're looking, if we don't find this dude and he gets away, well, now we got to get stuff for Kaito. So now we have another objective. So, it's just how you spin it.
Yeah.
You just take whatever it gives you, roll with the dice, pun intended.
Thinking about that approach. That's why I was like, I'm actually prone right now, Cubed. I
like that.
They have advantage on it. And I planned on not standing up because that other one got knocked prone. And I was like, what if I just roll over and then just start kicking him from the ground and both of us just slapping each other, but we never stand up.
Right.
Well, and I'm down if we want to officially end it here for tonight and then wait till Kaito's back and then ask Seiji what they would prefer to do. Because I also don't want to decide with everybody.
I was just
everybody
seeing
here.
what the plan was going to be.
Yeah. It's really, I don't mind either way, because I think trying to keep moving makes sense, but we're not going to obviously keep moving. So if we're in this sort of interim, maybe we just hold it right here, and next session, we can all decide, do we stop and take a break, or do we keep going?
Sounds good to me.
Because like you said, then Kaito will be back, so we'll all be able to figure out what we want to do.
Perfect.
I mean, I'm full health now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I like Price is ready to keep going, but it does make sense. I can see having like a potential discussion of like, well, what if we bait this dude in? But again, I'd want Kaito to be around for that.
Yeah, and at least maybe like I don't know, right? Because I would want a short rest, right? We can restore a lot. Warlocks
Mhm.
can get their stuff back. I can get all my focus back. But then it's also like if this guy's running away and we give him an hour head start.
But he's
I
not.
think-
That's the thing, is he's not trying that hard to get away. He could have, like, with him, unless I don't know. He's been waiting for us to attack these things.
That's true.
Otherwise, he would have a huge, like, his actions so far do not speak to somebody who is trying to get away.
You know what
But-
it kind of sounds like? Do you ever see those TikTok videos of like the coyotes that are playing with like people's dogs? And it's like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they want the
Lure
dog
them.
to chase them, yeah, to the back.
Mhm. Yeah, well, that could be. That
When
could be
we
part
keep-
of it.
We keep
But
getting
why would he give us
into
one of our weapons back?
To make you think that you could possibly get all of them back.
to get
It's not
yeah,
like a
Maybe.
pointless chase.
to continue the
Which
chase. Yeah.
is all the more reason that we should rest now if that's the case.
Oh no,
So
looks
it's
like,
like-
you got one over on me. You got your weapon back. I guess I'll get to keep the rest unless you try to stop me. It's like a little
Right.
kid almost. It's taunting.
I think the idea too of like a short rest could also act as that sort of bait, but also not put us so far behind if we don't see anything, you know.
Well, time wise, right? If we were playing like game mechanics, I don't think we could do like a long rest because we took a long rest, then we woke up from long rest to our stuff being stolen, and then we chased
Yeah, that's what
after, and that's where we're
that's
at.
what I'm
It's only
thinking.
been like an hour or two.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah, because Cube was saying it's like afternoon, kind of. So, yeah, like it would kind of be, we'd be sleeping for 8 hours, a couple hours after we just slept for 8 hours.
Which
And
even
we
in
can
the,
still use our hit die on a short rest to heal too.
yeah.
Yeah.
But even in the like the basic rules, like they're not. There's a limitation to how many long rests you can have in a day.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like one per day.
Yeah.
It seems, and you don't have to, but you can't just like spam your long rests just to get around game mechanics.
I mean,
but I agree with what Altani is saying in
Mhm,
the idea of if this thing is baiting us chasing it is just drawing us into more things. So us stopping the chase could bring it back to it. It might get more curious and be like, oh, well, why'd they stop, and kind of poke its nose. So I think that there's definitely some strategy there for sure.
What if, because those are all really good points. What if we pretend to have a long rest and we only
That's what
take
I
an
was almost
actual-
assuming. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's like,
I that was kind of what I was
Good one.
starting to like wonder about with all of that, because that would be, yeah, if we appear to take a long rest, because I might be the only one who actually needs the long rest right now.
Yeah, and
so I'm still capable without it, but
what do you need
so-
the long rest for? What are you resetting?
the I don't have the thing in front of me, but that like
It's your-
celestial
your
ability.
ASMR feats
My
and stuff
ASMR
that
thing,
are
yeah. In fact, both
daily,
of my ASMR things, because even though in my sheet it showed that I still had my that bonus ability, I did use it after our long rest, so I don't know why it's showing up as one, but it shouldn't be there. So I would, yeah, both of my ASMR abilities are done until my long rest.
Okay.
That's all. That was really the main reason for me of just being able to have him in our pocket if there's like something really nasty ahead of us. But you know, I'll just I won't be able to do as much, and that's okay.
I think if we need a hit die, which it sounds like we got pretty good healing. I
need a
used a
little
lot
bit
of spell slots, but I have a way to recoup spell slots as just a feat. Not all of them, but I which price would still be good to go for a little while. And as a rogue, obviously, you're still very capable, even without needing to be relied on for like healing and stuff.
That's where
and
when we were healing earlier, my head was like, if we just save our spell slots, if we do a short rest, you can heal yourself to full just naturally without spending basically anything.
Yeah.
It worked out, and I was maybe using more heals than I needed to. But the conjure storm spell was really nice because I could use an action and not act like I just cast the spell once. And so I have all these spell slots that are free that I could just pop the healing word out and stuff. So it seemed still viable, and I think I have like half my spell slots left. Like I'm not tapped, but yeah, like a short rest would be able to get Vimac all his spells. We would be able to use hit dice, and even if we didn't do a full short rest, it could act as like bait to get this creature to come sniffing around again.
Well,
Okay.
But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
It's crazy because this session and our session yesterday both pretty much started with combat. And at the very beginning of combat, and I at least thought we're fucked just based on what we were fighting. And then the group just turned it around and we ended up winning. So these past couple sessions have been really cool.
What protocol was that? Something about like hostiles or?
Yeah, well, it was, yeah.
This one could have been really bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like really bad. I jumped in there with less than half health, knowing I was going to take a hit, but I didn't want the hit to a downed character. So,
Oh, it was, dude, there was like people were making moves. This was really cool to watch the strategy unfold, and it
I
wasn't
was so
like,
confident when I'm like, oh, I'm prone. Go ahead and hit me. And then it landed. And I was like, looks like I deflected all your damage.
it was
And
so,
then I
yes,
dealt
dude.
30 back to you on your turn with a reaction. And I just felt so smug in that moment. I was like, well, that's the new monk for you. And then you're like, all right, that's 51 damage. I'm dead.
Oh, man.
that is the new mug for you.
Mhm.
And by the way, there's strategy for why I'm headbutting as the Kinsai. It says if I hold my Kinsai weapon, right, but I use unarmed attacks as my main attack, I get to add +2 to my AC. So I'm using my weapon as a shield. It's just they roll
Two
crazy
AC.
high, so what's it matter? That gives me
Gosh,
19
yeah.
AC, but they're hitting me for 24.
Because you were prone. I got that double roll in.
Yeah.
I think you need a wider sword, a more broad sword,
That's yeah.
so that it can work better as a shield.
All right. Let's see here.
Ooh, actually. Oh, I just realized. Yeah, short rest would be pretty good. Short rest would be ideal. We could talk
Okay.
about it next session, but
So my idea is that to expand on what you guys have talked about, we act like we're dejected and setting up for another long rest,
yeah, makes sense.
but we're only going to do a short rest.
I like it. And then if
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I love it.
if they still run, then we just track them down
Come down.
or attempt to.
Oh, hopefully, don't have to do like a
All
performance
right.
test or anything for our.
So with that, they have deliberated their plan. I mean, that's what skill challenges are for. To make it so it's less like turn by turn, like combat turns, and more narrative
Yeah.
turn. It has a much different feel to it than just attack roll or spell cast. It's making use of all these skills that we have. It's like, well, how often do we really use them? And skill challenges really push that forward, so I try to have those sprinkled in when it makes sense, when it's organic. Because otherwise, it's like, okay, gnome, what do you do?
What's today's skill
I
challenge?
run 60 feet, and then what do you do as an action? I throw something at them, and then it's like everybody, because that's ultimately what those chases are if they're not narrative. It's just every turn is you running as fast as you can and trying to hit, and then running as fast as you can and trying to hit. And if the thing is faster than you, then you're limited. Then it just takes even more time because now the melee characters have to start throwing stuff, which, so instead it's actually more interesting for the group to succeed or fail as a group as a skill challenge than it is falling to, it coming down to an attack roll.
I think because I started in 4th edition, right? And those skill checks were part of like every other session. Like they were a major part that we would like constantly be doing. And so from the DM perspective, I would always try to be like the environmental influence and in random chaos because it isn't a battle, right? So sometimes it helps if it's like actually the storms are so huge right now. 3 of these trees have been uprooted and they are flying towards you right now. Use your skill check to either like avoid them, cut through them, use an item, like whatever you think you could utilize to not lose speed, especially in chase scenes, right? It's about how can you maintain your momentum, and especially if you're like in an urban area or something and you have a lot more people to dodge, or like maybe there's like other people who are trying to influence you, right? They could be really fun. Just thinking
Yeah,
about
I
how to
like
pull
that.
it away from combat.
Yeah, because there's always going to be times where you're rolling, where you're using your movement, running, and then trying to hit something. And so adding more opportunities to use your skills, because otherwise when we're in initiative or if we're in combat, I guess in initiative is a better way to put it. If we're in initiative, I'm not going to use an acrobatics roll typically. It's either going to be a save for something or, you know, an attack. So it's nice because we have proficiencies, we have expertise in some of these things. So to have those apply in multiple scenarios and have it mean something, if we all rolled really, really well in that chase, and we just catch this dude and surround him, like that would feel really cool. And we didn't have to attack him or, you know, start combat. But we still got to do something neat with initiative.
And like, I don't know, I really feel like it's a great opportunity for the DM to be whimsical and creative. And so if it was me, I would pull an Emilio Estevez as Price is running through these woods. You hear a series of quack, quack, quacks as the flying V comes down, and it's just this storm has flown a whole gaggle of ducks in front of you. What are you gonna do? And it's like you could do like animal thing. Like if somebody was like, I have really high animal handling. Is there a way I could convince the ducks to help me? And let's say you crit, then as the DM, I'd be like, these ducks fucking bite into your clothes, and now you're moving faster than you've ever moved before because they are literally lifting you into the air and they are flying you to your destiny. Like, I don't know, just fun things like that, right?
I'll because I skipped 4th edition for the most part. Like I tried it, but it didn't last long for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been taking parts of that whole like, what can I do within that one instead of it just being a guarantee, like instead of it just being, oh well, you critical miss, oh well, you drop your sword. It's like when an enemy does it that doesn't have a sword, how does that apply? Do I just have it be boring and have them swing another enemy, or do I fiddle around with a mechanic based on how you guys have been performing? Like you busted up that skeleton a good bit, and it's like then it rolled in that one. Like, how does that gonna affect it? Is it gonna swing to ally?
Yeah.
Well, the ally's not nearby, so does it just fall prone? It's like, well, that's kind of just stand. It's like, what else can I do to make it interesting
And
and
that helps
unpredictable?
like push the mystery of it too, right? It shouldn't be a system that we're all 100% familiar with, and it's just checks and balances and mechanics, and this is what happens. Because then it's robotic, right? It's predictable. I love the idea that as the DM, like right in the DM guide itself, it's like all these rules are basically like guidelines, right? And you can make up your own rules or you can adjust them. It's every game is up to the DM themselves, right? And so the idea that you could add a different type of magic that's not even in here, right? And or you could just be like, you have no idea why this happened, but this is the thing that's happening right now. How do you handle this thing? Or like you just said with them getting this natural one, and you're like, well, so and so was doing this earlier, so it would make sense that this is the impact that the dice are kind of telling the story of.
Like you roll
Even though
in
that's
that
not
one,
a game mechanic. Yeah.
and
Getting
the last
eaten.
session,
Yeah.
it's like
I'm not gonna be like, excuse me, there's stat blocks for a reason, and nowhere does it says it. And it's like, no, that was fun. I like that. It was something I didn't predict, and it's just a result of us playing the game.
the post game discussion. Well, we were ending early, so we could have a little post game discussion about and stuff.
Rules is written. The DM gets to write the rules. It's in the rules.
That's pretty much. That's why I'll read something like, oh, this is official. This is from published, and I'm like, Cubed, is this right? Like, because it's up to Cubed, and it's up to your DM. But yeah, today was a lot of fun.
Sometimes your DMs are suckers, and you can talk them into things, and you're like, can I use my movement to do-si-do and swap places with this other person who already had their turn and used all their movement? And it's like, yeah, I guess, because we're in a narrow, hallway. But then the bad guys get to do it too. I would love to have a dance fight, and the bad guys are just like square dancing with each other, and every time you go to hit them, they pull somebody out and replace it with someone else.
We literally had that in our Tuesday session.
Oh.
We were in one of the first towns that we'd ever been in, and we'd come back to the town, and it was being attacked by, ironically, goblins and hobgoblins. Funny, it's like it's happened somewhere else before. But yeah, like in this fight, these goblins had like a switcheroo mechanic, and so it's like as soon as you would flank one of them, or you'd get a hit on one of them, and you're like, oh, we're taking this one down, and then like a fresh goblin would just get switched places and thrown into the mix. They were just like, you were kind of alluding to earlier, like using each other as shields, basically.
Mm-hmm. Pretty sure that was an existing like part of their mechanics in 4th edition. I don't know if it is in 5th or if it's just DM, playing. But I remember in 4th specifically, goblins were able to do that, and we had like different maneuvers. Like it would be like you disengage in 5th edition, but in 4th, I forgot what it was called, but it means you only move one step, but you can't be hit when you take that step. And so it would be like, I'm going to swap and use my one step to switch places with this character.
Shifting.
That was it. Yeah. Shifting. Which that's the one I started with. So everybody else had like the classic D&D experience. I went to a bookstore and found a red box for D&D 4th edition. And then I was like, oh, so this is just like World of Warcraft. Okay, that makes it easy. And it was like you had the color coordinated cards. And so if you're a fighter, you don't just have a weapon and you can do whatever you want with that weapon. It was like, here are the names of your specific attacks. There's 120 when you pull all the books together, and you get to pick like 4.
All the abilities, but your hot bar was so tiny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So with that, thank you guys for being here. I'll wrap it up there. Thank you guys for hanging out. And yeah, so we do this every Wednesday, 5:30 Pacific. We started a little bit late today, but you know, we also have to end a little early because people have to go. So hopefully we'll be back to the normal schedule. Yeah, next week. So tomorrow we'll be back at it at the normal variety stream time, 6 o'clock Pacific. For those of you on the Yubles Tubles, I'm gonna snooze these ads. Go away. Go away. I have 5 minutes to do this. But yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, like I said, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Twitch is doing some weird stuff with VOD, so I'm hoping I'll actually be able to get the VODs uploaded. Hopefully they iron that out because I couldn't get stuff uploaded this week. It's weird. But yeah. And for those of you on the Yubles Tubles, we do this over on Twitch, Twitch TV/Cube222. If ever you're curious when I go live, which I pretty much have a pretty set schedule, yeah, feel free to hit that adorable little button that says follow. It has a little heart on it. But with that, let's send you off. Ooh. My buddy just started. I got options. Damn. Okay. We'll keep it in the role playing. We'll keep it in RP. So I'll send you to somebody also doing some D&D. He is a DM. Go with that. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, or whatever's in between for you. And hopefully you enjoy some more D&D.